All right, hey guys, doing today? We about to hop into a review of Proverbs chapter 8. The first things first, though, just make sure you like that video, man. Hit a little exit full screen, scroll a bit, like it, and then full screen it back up. You feel me? All right, so he started off the sermon by talking about the personification of wisdom again, which is what King Solomon does in his chapter of Proverbs, right? Does wisdom not cry, and understanding put forth her voice? Therefore, do we not hear them, right? Do you not hear the cries of wisdom and understanding calling out to you, right? She stands in the top of the high places by way of the places of the paths, right? In the most visible places. And right at the top, the pinnacle, you can see the top. By the way, in the places of the paths, right? Right in the middle of the paths where everybody sees, right? That's where they be. Cries at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in of thy doors, at the doors, right? Right outside the city, calling for you. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. O ye simple, understand this wisdom, and you fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I'll speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be the right things. For my mouth shall speak the truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness, and there's nothing froward or perverse in them. And he mentioned how people nowadays, when they go online and they in comment sections, right, it's just all that evil talk, right? Everything is coming from your mouth, which is a direct implication of what's really in your heart, because it's your thoughts. Your heart will make your thoughts, but your thoughts can become your words, right? You don't speak anything you're not actively thinking, right? And if you do, then shoot, I don't really know, but most of the time you don't. And not only that, but people nowadays are so emotional with that too, right? But we'll probably get into that a little later, right? They are all plain to him that understands. All these things, they're just basic. You can see past them if you understand, and write to them to find knowledge. Or my bad. Misunderstood this. They're all plain to him, right? You could see these things if you understand, and it's right to them, right? It just feels natural, because that's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be natural in the ways of God. We're made in his image. Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. That's exactly what Solomon asked for, right? When God asked him, what, you could have anything. He didn't ask for gold, he didn't ask for silver, he asked for wisdom. Wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not even to be compared to it. With wisdom dwell with prudence, and find knowledge out of thy witty inventions, right? And we even talk about this now. He said nowadays prudence, right? Thinking forward, seeing, oh, I got a decision to make. This is what happens if I go down this way. This is what happens with this way. You got somebody saying this, somebody saying that. This affects them in this way. This affects them in that way. And you just consider all the ways. When nowadays it's just you put all your eggs in one basket, and that's like it. And you don't really think. You don't think forward. You don't put any thought into your action before you do it. You don't put any thought into your plans before you do it. You just kind of go with the whim. And that's not right. Right? We trust God first and foremost, which at times could feel like putting all your eggs in one basket and doing things with no forethought, because sometimes God's just like, do this and trust me. And I can't lie, that's the path I'm on right now, right? Just trust God and go with the flow. But at the same time, there becomes a level of preparation that you also have to do. And then go back to the emotions, right? Nowadays, too many people just lean on their own understanding, their own emotions. They just say, well, I feel this, I feel that. And that's why this is where he brought it up for real. This is where that discussion thing came in. But if you think about how people lean on their own feelings and understanding today, it's like, well, I feel that this is right, so I'm just going to do it. When really, there's no forethought there. There's no actual thought process behind it. It's like, we can see this in a very, 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 very obvious section of people nowadays, right? Where you're like, this is how this thing works. You're not doing that thing. It's not working. Something about that doesn't make sense, because it's how you feel. But how you feel, I don't want to say it's wrong or right, but according to God, it's wrong. Therefore, it's wrong, right? It's not me. It's God saying it's wrong. And then that leads to the whole thing like, oh, evolution and all that. He said it's a thing based on faith, which we'll get into that later, right? The fear of the Lord is to hate evil. Pride and arrogancy and the evil way in the forward mouth do I hate. And he mentioned how we can see this. He brought up the fact that there's those movies where you see the music goes bad, or it's clearly obviously a trap, and we're sitting there behind the TV like, what are you doing? Don't go forward. You're going to go into that. When really, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, right? Not everybody fears the Lord. So some people love evil. And we can feel that pull from our fleshly nature of loving evil, right? Where you're like, I know this is going to lead to something bad, but I can't really, you can stop yourself. God can help you stop yourself from doing it. But at the same time, you're like, but I want to. and then you just do it, right? Because the fear of the Lord is to hate that evil, but your fleshly, sinly flesh is saying, but do we really though? And then, you know, you can end up doing it. All right, I think I finished my point. My friend just came and knocked on my door, but I think I finished whatever point I was at. Counsel is mine and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. By my king's reign, by me, kings reign and princesses decree justice. By me, princes rule and nobles and even all judges of the earth, right? And we saw that one verse back in, I think, the first chapter that was like, understand, fear of the Lord is the first, the fear of the Lord is the start of wisdom, or something like that. And we see in Romans, I believe that it was, where it says all kings and all of them are appointed by God so that they may decree justice, right? And so by wisdom, kings reign, princes decree, princes rule, nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yeah, durable riches and righteousness. My fruit's better than gold, yeah, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those who love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. Basically saying, if you pursue wisdom, you know, everything else is just going to be accounted unto you, right? It's going to bring these different blessings, right? Not necessarily you're going to be the richest person on the planet, but, you know, it will bring some sort of blessing, whether that just be the blessing of the Lord's grace or whatever the case is. It's coming with something. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, wherever the earth was. When there was no depths, I was brought forth. Where there was no foundations, abounding with the water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills, I was brought first, right? And David said somewhere in the Psalms, I was fearfully and beautifully made, saying that such a wonder this was, right? And evolution can't compare to that. And then what I was just talking to my friend about, my biologist friend who showed up at my door, he was saying how, or I was asking him about, I forget the name of the term, but it's like irreducible something. Irreducible complexity, basically saying that with single cells, right, if any organelle becomes dysfunctional, the cell itself ceases to function. However, evolutionists will say something like, you know, everything, it came about, it was adapted and piece by piece came together, or whatever the fact is. But single cells, apparently, if you take one organelle out, it wouldn't work, right? That's irreducible complexity. Why he's saying that, you know, it's a system of belief, because of, like, even if we had to say that it wasn't whole altogether, which is the only way it works is if it's whole, but there was something before it was whole, which means it was a part. But if it was a part, it wouldn't work. But we're just gonna believe that somehow it got there. It's a system of fate, is what he was saying. And I was gonna ask my biologist friend about that, but I lacked the proper explication of the term, because I literally just finished watching the sermon and I forgot the name of the thing, and he didn't know it off the top of his head, which is rare, because usually he knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, before the mountains were settled, before the hills, I was brought forth, while as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the earth, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave the sea his decree, and the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily by his delight, rejoicing always before him. And this is basically saying, actually, I don't even know if this is saying he made it. It does say I was brought forth. I was set up from everlasting. I don't know if that means it was always a part of God. I would have to assume that wisdom is a part of God, but it could be talking about in the physical sense, like in the tangible sense, right? Because we know the tree of good and evil, right? That would be wisdom, right? Because it's a godlike characteristic, which means that it probably was that personified. Who knows? Rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of man. Now therefore listen unto me, O you children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction and be wise, refute it not. Blessed is the man that hears me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. For whoso finds me finds life, and shall obtain the favor of the Lord. But he that sins against me wrongs his own soul, and they that hate me love death. Now you hear this is once again a final call, right? Blessed are ye that keep my ways. So hear it, be wise. Don't refute it. Don't refuse it. Because if you hear me, blessed. Watching daily at my gates, blessed. Waiting at the post of my doors, blessed. Find life, boom. Obtain favor, boom. But if you sins against me, against wisdom, which is the beginning of, or which is the end point of fearing the Lord, or the beginning of wisdom is fearing the Lord, right? So you're sinning against wisdom, which is sinning against God. You wrongs your own soul, and you love death. When it literally said earlier, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. If you love death, you'll sin against wisdom. They go hand in hand. All right, that's going to be the end of the video. Hope you guys have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.